Hey Libra, your dishwasher is on, just so you know.
How this was actually a bigger shift and not just show.
Okay, just taking a sip of my coffee. Infused with all the spices and some oat milk.
These Venus cycles are connected.
Okay. Actually, hold on one second.
So this conjunction series that started.
Just had to turn that off as well. Okay. So, whatever and however, for however long you were feeling like you were living under someone else's rule or other people's ideas of what life should be like, I might just have to fix something over here. Or what needs to be like what, or how you need to do things. It's like an end of like a whole era of you even like listening to people or doing things in a way that just doesn't feel like your way of doing it. Sorry. Or you may also now realize that the way you're doing it is not really how you want to do it either. It becomes very clear to you, probably towards the time this comes out, it's probably good timing, that you've been holding out on yourself. You've been allowing something that is a very strong pattern in you, perhaps, or whatever it is. You've been allowing something about who you are, how you maneuver, how you relate, or how you do things for other people like get things from you, or are able to have some kind of weird control, or not control, dominance over you, power over you, whatever it is. You begin to realize how to affect certain things in your life, how you've been protecting yourself from something that could actually be better for you, which doesn't make sense. This month will show you how much you need to reconnect, recommit with your intuition, with your source. Revisit your own intuition in your own space. Meditation. Reconnect with what is real in that realm for you. From your season to this season is an interesting transition. It's almost like the brakes were pumped. I felt that way coming into this season, like you hit a wall. And you realize, oh shit, this can't keep going like this. This doesn't work for me anymore. I'm seeing it so clearly. The veil is right here. And I'm just seeing people from the middle space. Like, if the world is you're looking at like, oh, this thought process doesn't work. I realize that even though I've been saying I haven't been doing it, it's still been maneuvering on me. These people are actually showing me something. You realizing something that you were trying to keep hidden, that really isn't hidden, you know? It's just like out in the open. Towards the end of the month, you'll have this opportunity, especially as everything goes into Sagittarius. It will be a huge opportunity to, take all this energy that you've been cultivating and you do something with it all. Or maybe you're finishing something, or maybe you're starting a new chapter, maybe you're starting something new, you're doing something new, committing to something new. Whatever it is, you're putting everything that you've learned into it. You're doing this thing where you're also realizing wherever you've made certain mistakes in your life, you're processing them differently. You realize that the way that you've been doing it doesn't work. You need to allow yourself that kindness that you give out so freely, to what you don't hold on to for yourself enough, which can also cause you to feel like you don't have much or lack. right? You need to give your body that time, especially if you haven't been feeling well, or if you have some chronic things you need to take care of. The thing about chronic pains, I believe personally, that you can learn to figure out what you need to let go of. Sometimes it's Western medicine, sometimes it's Eastern medicine, sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's doing something, sometimes it's boundaries. Like, there's so many different things that are involved in whatever it is that you are noticing that's become something that is constantly being revealed to you in different ways. And you're now at a point in your life, whenever you get to this point, you're like, okay, I'm done with going through this pattern. Everyone gets there, different times, their own way, whatever it is, but you're done with something. You might be done with someone who's just not living up to what you agreed upon or thought they were, or whatever it is, or thought the situation was. Whatever it is, you're done with. For most of you, you're done with going through this constant reoccurrence, and you're just like, all right, I'm ready to change. Some of you may be forced into it, but by the Taurus eclipse on the 8th, which will be around the time this comes out, it's like a huge shift. Like, all of a sudden you go from, oh my God, this or that was holding me back, and now I have all this energy to control, because sorry, my cats, it was so funny, they just jumped on my computer. That you have all the luck and fortune, you're feeling also so fulfilled because you're allowing more pleasure perhaps into your life, allowing more goodness, not like savoring the moments in a way that you're not saving them because you know the next one won't come right away. It's just like allowing it to be your life, not to be too far in the future, not to be so much in the past, allowing things to come up, being very authentic and not excusing who you are, because if you don't do that, again, if you don't give yourself what you need, you can tend to be harsh. And you don't, in these situations, it's okay to be harsh with certain things, but remember that there's going to be a lot more taken personal this month, including how you can counteract yourself. So what the focus is, instead of like winning something, which is okay to win, it's okay to have that fulfillment, just realize like how you choose to let that shine from you, like what it is about yourself that you realize needs more attention or needs its own place, needs its own space. You've either met your match or realized where a boundary is. One or the other. And if a part of your dream life or what you want to do has to do with talking, or you know people will listen, or you don't know who is going to listen, you can't control who's going to listen and who's not going to listen. That's the whole point. If you've been up in your head too much in the past few months, feeling like you need to feel safe there, and maybe something did happen in your body, it's possible that you're being guided back there now, because there's a certain depth of trust that you now need to enter with yourself. For those of you who are on any part of your journey this is happening, whether it's gaining more material success, spiritual opening, it can relate either way. Because through this, there's something you realize that you are deeply invested in, and it's maybe the freedom of yourself and others, or freedom of your, like, real freedom of expression. Like, that's something that you value in your own journey in life. And you may share more how fortuitous you've been, but also learning what you've learned in each situation, each battle, each test, whatever you want to call it, and what you've gained from this knowledge, or where the skills you've acquired have come from. Regardless if anyone has tested you on them, it's God that's testing you. It's a certain sense of feeling free to be who you are, realize who you are, go after what you want, but not out of irration or vindication or proving something to someone. It's just that you need it. You realize, like, most importantly, that's what this looks like anyways. It's just being willing to be brave and courageous and vulnerable enough to go out on a limb for yourself. To go out on a limb for yourself because you do it for someone else's rights. You do it for their, you know, if they could get their abundance and here you are, it's okay to want your own. And you realize, like, oh, this is, like, really is this path for me. This is really the connection for me. And true fulfillment will have the things, and it will bring along the acquirings and the, you know, gifts or whatever it is. But the true thing is about, you realize that feeling fulfilled or filling this cup is about being brave, and it's about being courageous, and it's about you being courageous and brave enough to live your life. And regardless of what you can and can't control, because if you don't, the way this backfires is then you realize that years later you're in control, or you've decided to, you know, make it your responsibility to have all of these things, and you realize it's no longer what you want to do. And for some people that's okay, but for you, you'll always feel some kind of responsibility to the choices you've made, and wondered if you've lived your life the way you wanted to. Well, now is a big choice to shift that, and it could just be how you're looking at your life. For some of you, it is literally like physical things. Also, check out this rainbow. I mean, can you see it? No, get the rainbow. It's from the crystal bowl with all the males. Yeah, so you can have some really big magic this month. It's just up to what you're willing to admit to yourself, and it's gonna come out anyway. And it's some of the things, it's like, you don't even understand why you're emotional about it, but then you realize it's like, oh, I've never allowed myself to express this or say this out loud or experience this or have my needs and wants met so easily, or just like right on time. Like everything's kind of colliding. There's emergence that's happening, I think, with some Libras and some people in life right now. Sorry, like, check that out. And I would trust that more than anything else. All right, Libra. See you next month.